Yeah.
Group dynamics. Group dynamics is how people interact within a group. Stage 1 is known as forming. The first stage of group dynamics, known as forming, is when a group first comes together. For example, Jersey Wanderers women's team, when Alderson Bulls girls joined, they all got to know each other, which gave them the chance to assess each person and decide what they're all good and not so good at. How good they are at their own position. By having all these new players join, other players felt like they didn't belong there, so they ended up leaving. The second stage of group dynamics is known as storming, and this is when people get into conflict. This is when individual players fight for their positions within the group. This will lead to verbal fight and could get physical. Training sessions will then become intense. Players will start with dirty tackles, leading to players falling out of each other, as well as the coach, because they feel like the coach himself is making the wrong decisions for the team. The third stage of norming, the third stage of group dynamics is norming, and this is the goals and values of the group. This is when they start to appreciate the other members of the team. This won't mean that they're friends, but when on the pitch, they play amazingly together. An example of this would be the BBC, which is Bale, Benzema, and Cristiano Ronaldo, because they're not amazing friends on the outside world, but when they come together to play as a team, they do great things on the pitch. Things which could help this stage would be the coach setting goals, talking to the team about the values, and make sure they respect each other, but also the officials. Stage 4 is known as performing, and this stage is when players and coaches within the team come together as a unit, and this means that the team will then start progressing and function effectively as a unit. This also means that the group will work without conflict towards the achievements of shared goals. The group, by this point, the group has now reached the point where they are more knowledgeable and they're able to make their own decisions and take responsibilities for them. And this stage will also make the group more motivated and help them achieve goals and win games. So then we come to leadership, and this consists of intelligence, which is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Confidence is the feeling or belief that a person can have faith or rely on someone or something. Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate daily problems or even suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. Self-discipline, this is the ability to control a person's feelings and overcome their weaknesses. Optimism is having hopefulness and confidence about the future or the success of something. In my opinion, a good sports leader would be Sergio Ramos, and this is because he is always well motivated and confident in his own ability as well as the ability of his own teammates. Sergio Ramos always brings lots of energy to the playing field and always looks to be up for a challenge by always being pumped and also lifting his team to achieve victory. There are two types of leaders. The first leader is known as appointed, and this is getting selected by managers or coaches as they are seen to be the best for the job. The reason why someone like Ramos would get picked for this specific role of being a captain is because other players within the team respect him and look up to him. The second type of a leader is emergent, and this comes from within the team. This often has respect of the other players, and coaching staff. In my opinion, Cristiano Ronaldo isn't a captain, but he is a leader because everyone respects him due to him being one of the best players in the world. We then move on to social loafing. As the group size increases, the effort put in by everyone will decrease. This is due to a diffusion of responsibility. The reason this happens is because there are people who take the lead in an activity and other people sit back expecting the others to perform the task. An example of this could be the tug of war. This is because the people in the middle could put in less effort, expecting the people from the outside to put in all the effort, and this is known as the Ringelmann effect. A team sport example of this could happen when the fullback stays higher up the pitch and will expect the centre back to cover him, as the fullback might not be putting in as much effort as he should. Cohesion is a process. Cohesion. This is a process in which it's reflected in the tendency for a group to stick together and remain untitled so that they can achieve their goals and objectives. Cohesion is a collective identity, a sense of shared purpose, and a structured pattern of communication. Social cohesion, on the other hand, is related to how well the team members enjoy the company of each other. This would be regardless of whether they win or lose. A set of players who demonstrate high levels of cohesion will be Paul Pogba and Jesse Lingard. This is because they have things in common, come from similar backgrounds, in which has helped them bond together, creating a strong relationship. Task cohesion. This is all about how team members get together so that they can achieve a team goal. The reason why a task makes a team stick together is because within the team there are goals which, as a group, you want to achieve. Therefore, you work together and stick with each other in order to achieve the goal. Factors which affect group cohesion are environmental factors, and this is the stage that players stick together. For example, groups which live close and are smaller will tend to be more cohesive than if they were to interact more often with each other and form relationships.